I know damn well sure Robin Hood would say, not in my hood. He would not have it any other way. We're here to live in the present and all come together and show solidarity and say, no, we say no, we do not want this. And the future is something to look forward to, something to protect. And there's a saying that I've mixed up slightly. And how I say it, we may inherit this planet from our ancestors, but more importantly, we borrow it from our children. And I think that is something that everybody has to remain mindful of. I know we in this room do, but we have to go out and we have to talk to people and convince them that there is an alternative, there are other ways. And don't just take our word for it. I say this wherever we go. Don't take my word for it. Don't take our word for it. Don't take the word of these gas companies. Look for yourself. Research. You are all intelligent human beings. Use the brains you've got. Research and come to what feels right for you. Because I know what feels right for me is this is wrong. And I'm going to do my damnedest, and I have been for the past year, to stop it. So that's that. So we'll talk a little bit about the forest. Sherwood Forest, as we know, is a worldwide renowned area. At one time, it went for miles and miles and miles, and you can see we have maps on our board. We have one, I think, from 1817, I think, and you can see how, even from 1817, the area of Sherwood Forest has shrunk. There are over 200 ancient oaks in that forest. They have seen so more than we can ever contemplate. If they could talk, we would hear so many stories. We would hear of the thousands upon thousands of people that have walked through Sherwood Forest, that have played in Sherwood Forest, the stories that that place could tell. It has been, even in my lifetime, a place of happiness and memories, and we need to protect that for our future. So we have foxes, we have owls, we have badgers, we've got bats, we've also got nightjars, we've got rare bats, and we've got some very near extinct beetles. And they believe as well that we actually have in that forest animals, insects that are still waiting to be found. And they're really quite adamant about that. So that is why, well, one of the reasons why I am here bringing in Sherwood Forest. We don't want it. But for me, it's been a personal journey this past year. This time last year, I just knew a little bit about it. And then ever since, every weekend, every night we've had free, we've been doing something different. But one of the things that I did find out along my journey, and I knew this bit anyway, but just over 200 years ago, in June of 1817, my ancestor was arrested for being one of the ringleaders of the Penn Street Revolution in Derbyshire. Now,
so nothing's changed.
Now, at the time, there was great social unrest within the country. It was the time of the Napoleonic Wars. Soldiers had come back. They were destitute. They got nowhere to live. They had no money. They were roaming the land looking for work. At the same time as this, we'd also got the French Revolution going on, obviously in France. See, none of you knew that, did you? We've got the French Revolution going on, and the aristocracy were absolutely petrified that we would implement something similar in this country. And at the same time, it really wasn't a very good year. Mount Tambora in Indonesia erupted, and it left cloud in the atmosphere, dust cloud in the atmosphere, and it was known as a year with no summer. We literally had no summer, so The crops failed, everything failed. People had no money, there was a lot of social unrest. So obviously people in England weren't standing for this, and there was certain people in the area, one of which being Jeremiah Brandreth, who lived in Sutton. He was known as the Nottinghamshire captain. He went out and recruited people, spoke about the injustice, told people what was happening. So he went into Pentridge and he spoke to my ancestor, Isaac Ludlam, along with others, and they decided that they were marching on London to be part of this big movement. There were men coming from all over the country gathering together to say, we do not want this. Well, at the same time, there were Asian provocateurs sent out to rile people up. There were spies out there feeding back what was happening. And unfortunately, Oliver was an Asian provocateur, William Oliver, who was at Pentridge. So he fed back everything that had been said, all the plans, and they were arrested at Goose Fair in Nottingham. Anyway, obviously it didn't go very well, and they were held in prison, and they were held until it wasn't a jury of their peers. They were held by, it was a jury of the ruling class elite of Derbyshire, and they had to wait until all the work was done so that these gentry, ruling class, fabric tycoons, everybody was available to come and pass judgment on these men. Well, this is the bit that ties into fracking, and you'll see where I'm going with this. You could imagine, to my surprise, when we found out that on the jury of this ruling class elite was a gentleman called Fitzherbert. Now guess which family own the Lings with Thinghow on that have given their permission for fracking to go ahead? Yes, my friends, it is the Fitzherberts. So 200 years on, our families clash yet again. Now, sadly, it didn't end very well for Isaac or William Turner or Jeremiah Brandreth. They were sadly condemned to death. And on the 7th of November this year is the 200th year anniversary of them being hung till nearly dead and then being beheaded. Now, I am very, very proud of this gentleman. I obviously don't know him, never met him, but I really am proud that part of his blood, just very, very small part, runs in my veins, runs in my mum and dad's veins, runs in my boys' veins. I really am proud of it. And just quickly, the final words that were read out, that were said just before the trapdoor fell open. Now, Jeremiah Brandreth, who was the first man to be hung and then beheaded, said, God bless you all, but Lord Castlereagh. And Lord Castlereagh was one of the gentlemen that had got him where he was. Number 2, this is William Turner. His last words were, "This is the work of the government and of Oliver the spy." And Isaac Ludlam, his last words were, "I pray God bless you all and the king upon his throne." I just wanted to share that with you because I really do think the synchronicity and the irony of the two families coming together. Sorry, I'm just running out of time, I realise. So where I'm going, the future, I really do believe the kids we have to hear what these kids are saying. The kids are going to have this to clear up far longer than we are. We have to stop this for them. And on there, I've had some beautiful pictures from different children, trees, we've got little messages,